Welcome to the Empress Lioness, a sacred space where the spirit roars and the soul remembers everything. In each episode, we sit with visionaries, founders, creators, and healers. I'm your host, Karen Mitchell. So, when you say the flow state, explain that to us.
For me, and just for me, when I visualize the flow state is allowing your energy as well as the energy of the environment around you to flow through you. And when I do Reiki, I imagine it as if it is energy that is coming up through your feet, one of your foot, and then going up your legs and all the way through your body, up in your arm, and then coming back around and all the way back out through the other foot. I have found that when I am wound up and I am not allowing the energy to flow through me as it should, I get knots in my muscles, right? And I think for me it's a spiritual thing because I don't for some people, myself included, if I don't take care of my spiritual hygiene, it will self-actualize like in my body. If I have any kind of blockages, my body will show the signs.
Yeah,
So for me, it's just allowing energy in and out. And that's your emotional energy also. You know what I mean? Just allowing for you to feel what it is that your mind, your heart, your spirit wants to tell you. And
yeah,
feeling it in a calm way, as receiving it as though it is information, because that's what it is. In the most empathetic way though, because it doesn't help. Like I always say, when you're going through something, you talk to yourself in your head as though you were talking to your best friend. And when you're
yeah,
talking to your best friend, you would not invalidate her feelings. You would not just call her silly or stupid. No, you would listen. So, like,
yeah,
if I feel that something is not right, I'll sit and sometimes I look in the mirror, but I'll sit and I'll be like, baby, what's wrong? But when we talk about energy and how that relates, you have to first sit with those emotions attached to that. And it can be depending on where you are, it can be in terms of when it happens, developmentally where you are. It can be feeling the violation of that moment and also the anger associated with it because there are so many feelings that come along with that. It is
so
the
many.
it is the unfortunate feeling of being vulnerable without your permission. That's not a good feeling. It's really
Yeah,
not. It's just this helpless feeling, almost as if you are cracked open and it's just a really terrible feeling. But sitting in it and understanding that you in your reaction to whatever it is that happened, understanding that it's not your fault
yep,
and it didn't happen because there was something that you could have done better or different. It's a terrible, unfortunate situation that and a thing that happened to you. And it's just the reckoning with the entire 360-degree viewpoint of that situation and that trauma and that past thing. But then also understanding that whatever the mental I'll say, adaptations you created in your head and your spirit and your nervous system to help you get through it, that same thing will hinder your growth if you don't thank it for saving you in the moment and then releasing it so that you can be free, right? Because it's the what it really is, and I call it a flow, and it is a flow because your energy wants you to do that. Your spirit wants that to happen. So it's the flow is not fighting that feeling when it comes, not fighting that memory, sitting with it, allowing for it to flow through you. And if you have to cry, you cry it out. You feel those feelings. And, in that moment, what the flow is allowing you to feel and process that energy because it's trauma is leftover energy in the very worst way, allowing that energy to flow through you in a space where you can safely feel it and process it in a way that you can really just feel it and let it pass through you and understand that it's a thing that happened to you in the past, but it doesn't mean that you have to carry it in your book bag. And you can feel it and you can process it and you get to decide who you want to be moving forward, you know?
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with self-reflection also.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
let me use this. I did a exercise with myself the other day
Mm.
with my husband.
Mhm.
I walked in the kitchen and I said, if I had just been raised by my biological father,
Mhm.
life would have good. I know he would have spoiled me. I'm his only kid. And then I was like, but I probably would not have left the island either
Mm.
because my dad feels so comfortable.
Yeah.
And then ooh, I probably would have been people probably would have ran over me because he's so
Yeah.
kind, and so he just was gonna raise me in love overflow, right?
Mhm.
I knew it. Because I knew that's what he would have done because he did it as an adult.
Mm.
Here I am, an adult woman in my 40s, just met my biological father, and he's every time I get up to go to work, he wants to give me money to buy lunch. I'm sitting on his
That is so
lap.
cute.
He just he wants me to sit on his lap, and I'm like, a part of me is doing it, but another part is like, this is really a little bit awkward as a 40-something-year-old woman that has a husband.
Oh my gosh. Love that.
But my life would have been totally, totally different
Mhm.
than it is right now. I would have not had the bravery and the courage,
Mhm.
learn how to survive in this world if it hadn't been for the man that raised me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if I hadn't gone through my experiences, those trauma and life experience made me the woman that I am today, and I love her.
Mm.
But I cry for the girl
Yeah, me
that
too.
had to endure that had to go through it. That was a terrible experience. Yours the same. It's not what we want our young girls to go through today. I certainly don't.
No, no, not at all. Not at all.
But at the same time, it made me who I am.
Mm.
And would I have been different if I had another route? Maybe. Would I have liked that person more that without the trauma? Maybe.
Mhm.
Because I look at my girls right now today, they have never experienced any type of trauma like this in their lives, thank God.
Good.
And I watch their lives and I can compare it to where I was to them, and
Mhm.
I'm like, they were so lucky. You know what I mean? So lucky to have a mom like me.
Mhm.
But in order for me to give that to them,
Mhm.
had to go through it to experience it, to know that it's nothing I want to do, so that they never have to do that ever again in their life.
Mhm.
And I think that women listening to these stories of what happened to us,
Mhm.
I reflect in their own life, whether they had the same, similar, going through it right now, because it's been happening for generations on top of generations on top of
Yeah.
generations. I
Mhm.
think that, okay, I'm gonna make sure. Let me ask you this,
Mhm.
Nisha. The same cousin that molested you in the beginning
Mhm.
just stopped with you? Do you think he didn't try to molest any other female relatives in your family, including your sisters? We just don't talk about it.
Yeah. So I did at the time, he actually went off to juvie shortly after all that happened. So, and my sisters were one of them was an infant and the other one was 2. And because I was their mother figure, they never left my side. That
Mm,
cuz
good.
cuz at that point it was just me. When that
Yeah,
happened, it was just me. My sister hadn't been born yet.
right.
So, when I told what happened, we stopped going over there until he was no longer there.
Okay.
So, I know that he didn't touch them because that was the last time we were
Yeah. But they had someone to protect them.
Yeah.
They had an older sister that had went through the fire
Mhm.
and to make sure that they didn't. And now you're thinking, well, our relationship is not what it should be.
Mhm.
But maybe that'll change.
Yeah, if it does, I don't know. I feel like in many ways I've grieved that and let it go. I'm okay either way. I don't yearn for that connection because it's not there anymore.
You've been used to living without it.
Well, when I tried to reconnect, it felt like I was talking to strangers. Like the
Mm.
familial energy was just gone. It was just gone.
But I'm sure you're still open to it once things align differently. Because they will.
This particular stage, I can't say that I'm open to it.
That's okay.
Like just because I don't and this might sound selfish, but I don't really know what I would have to gain from that, because it's just like I'll say this, there would have to be some substantial growth on their part,
Yeah.
because for everybody in my family, they are stuck in that generational trauma mode, and everybody's just kinda accepting that that is what it is, and so it's like, until they break away from that, I don't see that happening, because then it'll always be a fight with me trying to, you know?
No, what I mean is when they align with
Mm.
who you are. Because I believe that, and I say this for me too, because again, I have 3 sisters and
Oh,
we
yeah.
have the same issues, and I've released them, and I think so much time went by that I've learned how to just deal with me because I can't
Mm.
deal with
Yeah.
their situations and their own traumas because
Mhm.
I'm still healing myself, right? So there's a separation that takes place.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you don't want to be sister, you don't want to be in a sisterhood. You just
Mhm.
can't allow a broken person or someone who has not started their healing to come into your circle where you've done the work
Right, yeah.
because then they would contaminate your space.
Right.
And I say that with respect, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But they now heal because if I'm here in my healing
Mm.
and they hear work, they have to align with mine.
Right, yeah, I see
And
what you
then
mean.
I would be open to revisiting that.
Right.
But there are still some truths that need to be told. There are still some apologies that may have to be said,
Mm.
but we have to you'll be able to do that once they align.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice, because I still love all of them. And I chuckle when I think about the happy memories that we had, because there was some good things. And
Yeah.
I sit and I realize that it's okay to allow myself to feel those happy memories too, and it doesn't negate the trauma. It doesn't nullify the trauma, but it's the whole experience of my childhood with them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I sit and I can enjoy those moments as what they were, but still accept that today I can't be in that vibration anymore, and they're stuck there, and that's okay too, because everybody's path is their own, you know what I mean? And it's their own, and their timeline is their own, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Listen, a girl needs her sisters at the end of the day, you know what I mean? She really does. There's something about, growing up with your sisters because you
Mhm.
share life at the beginning when you're out
Right.
adventuring, learning.
Yeah.
The first time I learned how to snuck out was my older sister used
Really?
to sneak out.
My good you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I learned how to gang fight or, was with my sister.
Yeah.
I said, the first gangster girl I saw, she'd protect all of us and jump in, but she's always been very protective of us.
Yeah.
And so you grow up with those memories, but then life happens that
Mhm.
throws edge in there and don't see eye to eye and we can't agree with certain things and we take that and what I say is my truth and yours is yours. But you
Mhm.
can't make my truth feel like it didn't happen
Yeah.
because you don't want the world to know what happened to me because it makes someone else look bad, like our parents. You know what I mean? And it doesn't make our parents look good in
Mhm.
society or in
Yeah.
but that don't mean that you should shut me up.
Right, yeah.
When other family members came and said to me, "The man that raised you molests me," part of me was like, "I'm a daddy's girl. Like, that don't even make sense." And
Mm.
I want you to understand how it feels to be on that side.
Mhm.
Being a daddy's girl, and when my cousin started saying that, I was like, "Oh my god, not my daddy."
Mhm.
Oh, my thought was I was mad.
Yeah.
But my second thought, and only because I experienced abuse,
Mm.
I did not want to discredit that woman's truth.
Yeah.
I could If she said that man molested her, then I had to believe that my father was a predator.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And
This
um,
That's a tough call
it is
for a
very
girl.
it is very tough. And it's like when everything came out, they were still teenagers. You know what I mean? And so I understood, and I never faulted them and still don't for that particular period of time because that's hard. Because it's not
Yeah,
just it's because they didn't have a great relationship with their dad, but it's this man that is part me that I love and I go to, and he
yeah,
helps me do these things. He hurt
yeah,
my sister, and it's not. And I always say this. It was almost as if they had to pick who to love, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Between me or him.
Who to love, who to
And
believe.
right. And a large part of why I didn't say anything for the longest time after it stopped was because I did not want to ruin their childhood. Like I didn't
Yeah,
want to.
I'm your host, Karen Mitchell.